If anything happens, it's not suicide. These were the haunting words uttered by John Barnett, a former Boeing quality manager, shortly before his mysterious death in 2020. Barnett, a seasoned engineer with decades of experience in the aerospace industry, had blown the whistle on serious safety concerns at Boeing's South Carolina plant. He alleged that production pressures were compromising the integrity of the 787 Dreamliner, a flagship aircraft for the company. His claims, dismissed by Boeing as unfounded, painted a disturbing picture of a corporate culture that prioritized profit over safety. Barnett's chilling prophecy, coupled with the controversial circumstances surrounding his death, ignited a firestorm of controversy and cast a long shadow over Boeing's reputation. The incident came on the heels of several high-profile scandals that had already shaken public confidence in the aerospace giant. The crashes of two Boeing 737 MAX jets in 2018 and 2019, which claimed the lives of 346 people, exposed critical flaws in the aircraft's design and raised serious questions about the company's safety protocols. The subsequent investigations revealed a pattern of negligence and a culture of complacency within Boeing, further fueling public outrage and prompting calls for greater accountability. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, the agency responsible for overseeing the safety of the aviation industry, came under intense scrutiny for its cozy relationship with Boeing. Critics argued that the FAA had become too close to the company it was supposed to regulate, allowing Boeing to self-certify its aircraft and prioritize profits over passenger safety. The FAA's lax oversight, coupled with Boeing's apparent disregard for safety concerns, had created a dangerous environment where tragic accidents were not only possible but inevitable. Barnett's whistleblowing and the chilling prophecy that accompanied it served as a stark reminder of the human cost of corporate greed and regulatory failure. His story, though tragic, offered a glimpse into the dark underbelly of an industry where profits often trump safety. The questions surrounding Barnett's death and the allegations he made against Boeing continue to haunt the aviation industry, serving as a cautionary tale about the importance of prioritizing safety and holding corporations accountable for their actions. Boeing, once a symbol of American ingenuity and engineering prowess, found itself mired in a series of scandals that tarnished its reputation and eroded public trust. The 737 MAX crashes, which occurred within a span of 5 months, exposed a fatal flaw in the aircraft's automated flight control system, known as MCAS. The system, designed to prevent stalls, could malfunction and force the plane into a nosedive, as tragically witnessed in both crashes. The investigations that followed revealed a disturbing pattern of negligence within Boeing, including attempts to downplay safety concerns and pressure regulators to expedite the plane's certification. The FAA, tasked with ensuring the safety of the aviation industry, also faced intense scrutiny for its role in the 737 MAX debacle. The agency had delegated much of the safety certification process to Boeing itself, relying on the company's own engineers to assess the safety of its aircraft. This practice, known as self-certification, came under fire for creating a conflict of interest and undermining the FAA's ability to provide independent oversight. Critics argued that the FAA had become too cozy with Boeing, prioritizing the company's interests over the safety of the flying public. The 737 MAX crashes and the subsequent revelations about Boeing's safety practices sent shockwaves through the aviation industry. Airlines around the world grounded the aircraft, and Boeing faced billions of dollars in fines and lawsuits. The FAA, under pressure to restore public confidence, implemented stricter safety protocols and vowed to revamp its certification process. The agency also faced calls for greater transparency and accountability, with lawmakers demanding a thorough overhaul of its relationship with Boeing and other aircraft manufacturers. John Barnett, a veteran quality manager at Boeing's North Charleston, South Carolina plant, witnessed firsthand the production pressures that he believed were compromising the safety of the 787 Dreamliner. He observed instances where workers, under pressure to meet production quotas, were cutting corners and neglecting critical safety checks. Barnett, alarmed by what he saw, raised his concerns through internal channels, but his warnings were met with indifference and hostility. Frustrated by the company's dismissive attitude, Barnett decided to take his concerns to the FAA, hoping that the agency would intervene and force Boeing to address the safety issues he had identified. Barnett's whistleblowing, however, came at a personal cost. He faced retaliation from his superiors, who accused him of disloyalty and insubordination. His colleagues, fearful of losing their jobs, were reluctant to support him. Barnett found himself ostracized and isolated, his once promising career at Boeing in tatters. Despite the personal risks, Barnett remained steadfast in his belief that he had a moral obligation to speak out about the safety concerns he had witnessed. He was convinced that lives were at stake, and he was determined to do everything in his power to prevent another tragedy. In a chilling twist of fate, Barnett was found dead in his home just weeks after filing his complaint with the FAA. The circumstances surrounding his death remain shrouded in mystery, with conflicting reports and unanswered questions fueling speculation and conspiracy theories. While the official cause of death was ruled a suicide, many, including Barnett's family and friends, remain unconvinced. They point to the suspicious circumstances surrounding his death, including the fact that he had expressed fears for his safety and uttered the haunting phrase, "If anything happens, it's not suicide." Barnett's allegations, along with the 737 MAX crashes, painted a disturbing picture of a corporate culture at Boeing that prioritized profit over safety. The company, once revered for its engineering excellence, seemed to have lost its way, succumbing to the pressures of a competitive market and a relentless pursuit of shareholder value. The emphasis on maximizing production and reducing costs, critics argued, had created an environment where safety concerns were often ignored or downplayed. The FAA's lax oversight, coupled with Boeing's apparent disregard for safety concerns, had created a dangerous environment where tragic accidents were not only possible, but inevitable. The agency's reliance on self-certification, critics argued, had undermined its ability to provide independent oversight and allowed Boeing to prioritize profits over passenger safety. The cozy relationship between the regulator and the regulated had created a culture of complacency, where safety concerns were often brushed aside in the name of expediency and profit. The consequences of this culture of complacency were tragically evident in the 737 MAX crashes. The investigations that followed revealed a pattern of negligence and a systemic disregard for safety within Boeing. The company had failed to adequately address concerns about the MCAS system, and it had pressured regulators to expedite the plane's certification. The FAA, for its part, failed to provide adequate oversight and had allowed Boeing to self-certify its aircraft, creating a dangerous conflict of interest. The Boeing scandals and the tragic loss of life that resulted serve as a stark reminder of the importance of corporate accountability and the paramount importance of safety in the aviation industry. The public trust, once bestowed upon Boeing as a symbol of American engineering prowess, has been severely eroded. Rebuilding that trust will require a fundamental shift in corporate culture, a renewed commitment to safety, and a willingness to prioritize the well-being of passengers above all else. The FAA, tasked with ensuring the safety of the flying public, must also undergo a transformation. The agency must break free from its cozy relationship with the industry it regulates and assert its independence as a vigilant watchdog. The practice of self-certification must be reevaluated, and the FAA must invest in the resources and expertise necessary to provide robust oversight of aircraft manufacturers. The agency must demonstrate an unwavering commitment to transparency and accountability, ensuring that safety concerns are addressed promptly and thoroughly. The aviation industry, once a symbol of human ingenuity and progress, now faces a crisis of confidence. The Boeing scandals have exposed the dangers of corporate greed and regulatory capture, highlighting the human cost of prioritizing profit over safety. Rebuilding public trust will require a collective effort from all stakeholders, including aircraft manufacturers, regulators, and the flying public. Only through a renewed commitment to safety, transparency, and accountability can the industry regain the trust it has lost and ensure the safety of the skies for generations to come.